Hey, everybody, what's going on? It's Tone Talk with Mark Uzansky and Dave Friedman. Welcome to our show on Friday night. It's episode 164. And tonight we're honoring the life and work of Jose Arredondo. We've talked about Jose on this show probably 1,000 times, if not more. And we have our special guest, his daughter tonight, Marisol Arredondo. How are you, Marisol?
I'm doing great. Glad to be here with you guys.
Yeah, thanks for joining with us. It's awesome to have you on the show. I mean, your dad is just a legend, and we'll be going into kind of talking about why in a second. Before we get down that path, though, I want to mention our sponsors to everybody. So we've got Sweetwater first up. Make sure you guys check out Sweetwater. We've got a link below. That's our affiliate link. You click on that and just purchase anything as you normally would. And it gives us a little kickback to the show, a little gift to the show if you purchase something. So check out Sweetwater. Also check out fixpedalboards.com.
For all your pedal board accessory needs and everything else you could possibly imagine. They also make our amp chassis, so that's good. Check them out. They're awesome. Say hi to Tim.
Yep. Oh, I should have said Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everybody. And Thomann.com. Check out Thomann. That's the same thing. We have a link below, and if you use that, it kind of helps out the channel. So
for everyone in Europe that's listening or not listening,
go
use our link and buy something in Thomann because they're awesome.
Yes. So thanks everybody. For some reason, Dave, your camera's a little blurry. I don't know why.
But it is. What the hell happened?
Yeah, I don't know why.
It wasn't,
but then it got blurry.
It's a blur on me. That's okay. Girls like not.
They get the filter. I'm not really sure.
Let me see here. No, I'm still here.
Oh, there you are.
There you go. That's better.
Look at your background.
Right. Let's try that.
I like that better anyway.
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing, it was just like one's the 1080p setting and one's the 720p setting.
Oh, so what were you in?
Now I'm in 720.
720. Oh,
so it's
not as good.
Yeah, no, yeah. I guess I've always been in 720, and I saw the 1080, and I'm like, what? I thought I was in the.
I'm at 1080.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, normally 1080 is supposed to be.
I don't know.
Good. Anyway, so Marisol,
I blame it on my web camera.
So you're now in Idaho, right?
Yes. This is where I live. The Four Seasons.
Yes.
Oh yeah, the Four Seasons.
Have you ever been here in Idaho?
I've not. I have not.
Oh my! I welcome you to my home. It just snowed, and then it's been raining, and it's been gloomy. So it's it's winter.
Right. All right.
We're getting through this, but the spring and fall is just unbelievable.
Oh, beautiful!
Oh, I bet.
Yeah,
I miss Four Seasons.
Oh, it's beautiful, but I miss California too.
Yeah, like for instance, we've had no rain. We had some cloudy days. We had some cloudy days, but so far no rain at all this winter.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't think it's going to rain.
Oh my gosh.
I think we're going to miss it all.
Oh, I know.
A dry winter. It's supposed to be, what is it? Whatever. It's supposed to be a dry winter this year. She's fine with me.
Well, you can come and visit here. We got rivers all over the place. So it's Snake River. It goes all the way the whole Shazam. We can fish. We can do tubing, whatever you.
Oh boy!
Wow.
Yeah. Go to the bars. I mean, the bars are awesome.
Have you frequented the bars?
No.
Maybe once
or twice, but
a couple times.
I have a driver, so
there we go.
Exactly. Get an Uber, you're good. So let's go back in time. So, when did you first realize what your dad was doing for a living, and when did you start going to his shop and kind of being aware of all this stuff that he was doing? Just curious.
Let's go way back. I mean, we're talking about, I must have been in the teens, but my favorite musician was Elvis. So I had a fetish over Elvis, right? And he tells me, I met Elvis. I go, what? He goes, yeah, I met Elvis. The Beatles have been here. And I think he was working with Vox or Ampeg or something back in the days. But
probably would have been Vox if it was the Beatles and stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
And I guess he did a couple of amps for them. But Elvis, I was just totally crazy over that, but that's a couple of the people he worked with. I mean, back in the days.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I mean, from what I understand, and film me, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but he worked for Vox, and then later went to work for Ampeg.
Yes.
And he was building amps for them. That's what he was doing.
Well, he worked for them directly, so yeah, he was making modding amps for them, and there were a lot of big artists coming in and having heard about my dad, and then it escalated. It just went into craziness. Rolling Stones, who knew?
Yeah.
All these people that he worked with is just amazing to me.
Servicing, dealing with artist amps, things of that. I don't know what his official title was there, but he was he was a service engineer there at these companies.
Right. I think that's what I read on that, because I kind of tried to do a little research since he really didn't tell me much about that part of his life. But because I was just, I'm going on. I'm out there having fun.
Right, exactly.
So it was kind of hard to just remember certain things. And but gosh, do I remember a lot of the groups? I mean, it's just crazy. Motley Crue. And I mean, he would tell me, who he told me more about than anybody? Stevie Vai. I haven't, all I remember is just, I do stuff for Stevie Vai, like Stevie Vai and all this Stevie Vai. And it was just,
Well, Stevie Vai had like three of them, three amps from him, right?
Oh, did he? Okay.
I think he might have had three at one time, but for sure two. And the funny thing is, I got to service those amplifiers and kind of restore them sort of into working order in recent years. And then Pete Thorne did a video on the amp.
Where's Pete?
Well, I don't know. He said he would try, but he's leaving out of town tomorrow on tour, so he's short on time. But I am going to text him and see if he got Mark. I assume you sent him a link.
Yeah, he said he doesn't think he's going to make it. He's running out of time. Has to get a whole bunch of stuff, and he's leaving on tour tomorrow.
Yeah,
and he said, "Please tell Marisol I say hello and wish her lots of success."
Oh, that's awesome.
He said he's sorry, but he couldn't make it. But he's going away tomorrow for 2 months. So
yeah, he's off to England.
Concerts.
Yeah, he's touring. Yeah,
he's off to England. He's got to do. He does this every year. Every year about this time, he does this band in the UK called the Classic Rock Show, and it's the title says it all. It's the Classic Rock Show. It's a whole a million different classic rock songs and that he plays on. It's at a high level. It's not like not like a tribute band, so to speak. It's kind of a high level production.
Right.
I mean, let's think about those days. God, those days were crazy. Rock and roll, all these posts. I mean, I remember seeing in my dad's shop posters of rainbows and all kinds of craziness. I mean, this was just even letterhead stuff, of like you had to be on acid or something. It was just like really crazy stuff, and I wanted to keep some of it, and then again, where did it go? But at least I remember it. It was just crazy. He just had so much stuff. Way too much sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember I was fortunate enough to when I first moved to California, I was a young 18-year-old kid. Then I went and got an amp done on Cedros, by your dad. Yeah. And
so you went into the back, into the
the next to the garages, right? Yeah. His little shop there. Yes. Yeah, I was there. And yes, there was a striped Eddie Van Halen guitar on the wall, and I always found it amusing the fact that he didn't play guitar.
My dad?
Yeah.
Yeah, all he did is budding.
Yeah, he on the wall, he just turned the volume open and hit it with his hand, like swipe it. And he could tell what it sounded like from that. And then I think, when the players came over, they were playing and he could get the feedback from them on what they wanted different or how it should sound different, and he was so sweet. He was awesome. And
and I appreciate you because you remember such good things about my dad. I want to carry his legacy, and you have helped to do this, and so has Mark. And so has Pete.
Yeah.
It's just,
well, in reality, I think, how did we title it? What did we title in our title? We said
it was a high gain
pioneer. Something.
Pioneer, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, it was a high gain pioneer. There were things he did that no one else had done yet. There were a couple people. So there was your dad. There was this guy Lee Jackson, and I guess kind of a little bit before then there was a guy named Paul Rivera.
Yeah.
And in California, that's sort of what you had. Paul did some mods and some early things. Lee kind of worked for Paul at one point in time and learned some of what he does from Paul. But your dad didn't do it that way. Your dad did it in a way that I would call kind of pretty contemporary for the time, to what later became normal. And he was way ahead. There were some things in the mods and things that I've seen that are, as far as how they switched and things that were a bit archaic, and you could do slightly better now with how it's laid out. It would just, there were some archaic things that were a little weird, but it was all there. It was there. It was the thing, what he did sounded great.
Yeah.
And
thank you.
And like I said, he was the high gain pioneer, at least in California, at least out in the West Coast. And this is in the heyday of all those bands and all that time, from the very late 70s through all the 80s. When you go to a shop, the amps would be just stacked up and I was there several times. I remember going there the first time and then the second time and then going there for something else another time. And he knew I worked for Andy Brower's Studio Rentals at the time. And he had done amps and done work for Andy Brower also. So I was working for them, and that's how I got his number. And that's how and he goes, "Oh, you work for Andy? Okay, yeah, okay." And
with that big accent.
Oh yeah, the big accent, yeah.
Yeah.
Big accent, big eyebrows.
That's how everybody remembers him.
Yeah.
Besides his tone, what he did to their amps, their modifying amps, it's just crazy how I saw so many people walk in, youngsters back in the days.
Mm-hmm.
All were looking for that tone.
Yeah.
They didn't have the money.
Yeah.
They didn't have the money.
Yeah. Think about it.
That's
way
true.
back then, they just wanted all that. So they put I'm going to say deposit, you know. There was a couple incidents where somebody left a jukebox, you know, okay, I'm going to leave you this and I'll get you paid, you know. It was what I remember that. I remember a motorcycle, somebody left a motorcycle, here, take this, I'll get the money as soon as, you know, and pay you back. I mean, it was just,
well,
he just cared for those guys. This is, back in the days,
they're working musicians, you know.
Oh, yeah. I am telling you. And now they're big people.
Yeah.
Some of them went sky high.
Yeah, but I mean, there was like, I mean, there were so many people that I don't even, I mean, you know, there's so many people you've never heard of that he did work for. And then there's people that became huge, you know, Mick Mars was a user, and Steve Vai and Joe Holmes and John Sykes.
Oh my goodness.
He did a ton of amps for John Sykes. I mean, I think he still has like 6 of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And John Sykes from Whitesnake and later Blue Murder.
Yeah, I had one of their albums signed by them.
Yeah.
Again, you know, that was ruined. But, you know, I remember it and stuff, and it was just like, I wish I still had all that. It just drives me nuts.
Oh, what happened?
The weather ruined it, so it's we go on, you know.
Yep. I think we've all had stuff like that, but so that's really cool. So besides the so you worked at Vox, you worked at Ampeg.
Yeah.
And how long before you even do that, where was he from?
He was from South America, Chile.
Okay.
He was a Chileno. And the siblings were actually from Chile. And he came out, you know, to America, where we all know it's the land of opportunity. Mm-hmm. And that's how he pretty much started it. I remember seeing those Ampeg and Vox and organs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was just a little kid. I mean, but I remember those things, and he was just into all that. But way back in the day, you know, he served the Chilean military. And he's pretty hot looking and that, you know, he was a very good looking man. So, you know, I miss him.
I'm sure. When did he pass away?
Actually, I had to write down 1994. So he was only 71.
Wow.
I remember seeing him. I think the last time I saw him he was at a NAMM show, actually. And that would have been the early 90s.
Okay, so that was before he was ill.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
I don't know. Remember exactly what year. It might have been 90, 91. When did he start getting ill?
Around that time, I think. Around
yeah.
So he died in 94, so it would have been 91.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, or that. He was just it was progressing, you know. So.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and then like I think he was I think I might have known he was sick at the time, though. Now I seem to remember that. Wasn't someone else helping with some of his work even when he was a little sick or something at the time?
You know, I don't recall that. All I remember is me helping my dad.
Oh, okay.
And I did a lot with him, you know, to clean up his shop, organize his circuit. Everything was in these little cardboard things. So I had I organized everything, cleaned it up. And it was just so many parts. All over the place, because he was a madman and a perfectionist to that circuit board.
Yeah.
You know, so once I got everything organized and stuff, and then he started teaching me a little bit more recoding speakers.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I know how to recode. He said, make sure of this and do that. So there's no magnets in the magnet. And oh my goodness, it was just quite a learning experience. And with the tubes now, he would take me to get the tubes tested. So he taught me how to do tube testing and how to buy tubes. That I'm thinking the place was called Steve's or something like that. Steve's Electronics.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's coming up in my head, but so I learned how to do that. And
there was a company around at the time called ARS Electronics.
ARS?
ARS. They were in Van Nuys.
Oh, then maybe that was it.
Yeah, maybe.
I know it's close by his shop.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure.
But it was all fun, and now I know how to recode speakers. Not that I can do it, but
not that I quite remember,
or that I want to do it.
No. He had so many parts of everything that it's just like crazy. It was just so nutty in his shop, his garage.
Yeah, I never went to the shop that was before the garage. I only went to the garage. Well, it was. I don't remember. It was wasn't it like a 3-car garage or something, or some sort of thing? And then there was like another, like a little side part that jutted out from the last garage door. And I remember that's where the amp and the cabinet was in there. And then further in was his bench in one of the garages, I think. If I
the one
recall.
studio where you probably saw the guitar that you're talking about, that was already soundproofed.
Yeah.
So that had to get soundproofed and everything because people are going nuts, that people are going crazy, making all this noise, right?
Yeah.
And then next to it was his garage.
Yeah.
And the garage is where he kept all his savings and parts, and that's how he did a lot of the stuff. He used got parts from his stuff from the garage.
Yeah. That's what I remember.
Yeah, so it was like that was nutty too. Going in, I'll go, Dad, where is that speaker you're talking about? It's like, oh.
It's somewhere.
Yeah, we finally found it. But
it was like if you could picture like someone's crazy garage that's full to the brim, right to the hilt, and like
what it was.
Not maybe the most organized and not maybe anything, and if you can picture that, then that's what the shop was like.
Right. That's the only thing I couldn't organize because I'm going like, okay, I gotta walk out.
Yeah, that's what like I can't tackle that one.
No.
Yeah.
So
I don't even know what all this stuff is. So
those are nice, good days, actually. They were good for me, and even the shop before that was even better because my parents kept me away from, they called them hippies. Because, I was cute, thin, long hair, and no, you can't go out there. So the only one I, really got to meet in person was John Kay. And this is on the first shop. And that was nutty. And my dad said, that was a Steppenwolf. And he came in with his sunglasses, his leathers, long black hairs. Yeah, I think that's what I remember. And I'm going like, oh my goodness. I mean, it's like, okay, I'm only a teen, but okay, we're doing good here.
Steppenwolf was a great band, actually. Steppenwolf was a great band.
Oh yeah.
They don't get talked about it enough.
No, they probably don't.
Like some of those songs were just great.
Oh yeah. I mean, he just did some stuff with some people. Steppenwolf, Three Dog Night. We're talking about Iron Butterfly. Oh my goodness, that's the one that I remember the most, and I don't know why. Iron Butterfly. That was before your time, right?
I mean, not really, but yeah. It's before my time, yes. But I mean, they were like earlier '60s kind of stuff, right?
It's scary when you put that song on Anda Cara de Vida, and you know every word. That's scary. I put it on and I knew every word, and I'm going, what the?
I don't. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that is before my time.
I'm older than I feel.
Oh my goodness. You guys look great. I love your background.
Oh, thanks. Thank you. Yeah, Dave's got the killer background.
You should have seen it earlier. It was a disaster area in this back behind me, and I had to like make it presentable.
I love those amps.
Yeah, amps everywhere.
Nice.
Eventually, I'm doing another room here that'll have a whole. It'll be a really nice, like little viewing of stuff, but it's not done yet. It's not done yet.
What's the plan on that? When's that going to be?
Well, you know, I have some couple things in the way, like a bunch of rigs I'm doing, and then a NAMM show, and you know, having to make things and amps and things. Yeah, you know, got a lot to do.
So it's not on the priority list.
It's slowly getting done. It is not number one priority right now.
Yeah.
Do you need me to go there and organize?
Like, no, I'm pretty reasonably organized, actually. If you can see down the hallway, all these nice bins that are all labeled and everything, but
sweet.
It gets a little crazy when you're working. You know, sometimes when you're working on multiple projects at once, it's a little out of control, and then you get done and you got to clean it all up.
Right. I mean, I remember walking in, you know, when my mom would send me to go to your dad's shop, do something, you know, you're not going out, whatever. So that's how I, you know, started organizing and doing all this. And all I remember seeing my dad, not only did he have a magnifying glass, I mean, yay big, he had his glasses, and he would start working on these blank circuit board, I mean, in soldering.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these colors and everything. I didn't know exactly what it was and what it did, but it was just crazy seeing those colors and so much stuff going like this, you know, like a maze.
Yeah.
And how they connected.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm just at it all like you, Dave. I mean, to know all that, that's just nutty. I don't know how you get.
It's not that nutty, but you know, it's you learn it over time. You do. I mean, it's just like anything you do. You know, it's like you learn what you do. You learn what you love, and you keep it. You never stop learning.
Yeah, like if Mark and I were to look at it, and we would go, okay.
Yeah, no, from a standpoint of like a novice, you know, or I mean, I don't know what I'm looking at. You know, Dave can look at an amp like in the inside and just be able to know immediately, like, oh, it's this, blah 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 blah. Like I have no clue, and it just looks, you know, it looks super cool to me. You know, like I love just looking inside an amp, but I have no clue what's going on inside.
Yeah, and you say, how do you get that sound, that tone out of this?
Yeah. And then to be able to think about, be like, oh, well, it's a 0.05 or whatever microfarad thing that I'm going to throw in here. Like I would, you know, that's the experience. That's the experience of someone like Dave and your dad who would to know like, oh, that's going to put the tone this way, or it's going to put the tone that way. That's the amazing thing about it with guys like your dad and Dave who have these ears, and it's amazing. Like you said, Dave, that Jose didn't play guitar.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, so I don't really understand that concept. I can't. If I didn't play guitar, I mean, I guess I could hear what sounds good when someone else played it, but I don't know. I would need to feel it. I would need to play it. I couldn't imagine not.
Yeah.
But
I think what could have happened back in the days is my dad would ask, what are you looking for? What tone? What roar? You know, what is your band need or you need? And that's what he went by. And then once he got to a certain point, that person would come and test it.
Yeah.
And so that's where you get the reality of the, you know, just the tone.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And that is what he showed me different things that he did. And when I went to get an amp done, and, you know, he goes, we could do it like this. We could do it like this. We could do this. And I picked what I wanted to get done and what I wanted. And he did it.
So how'd you hear about him, Dave? How did you hear about Jose?
I knew about him from magazines and things, you know. It's just like how everyone knew, you know, about, well, it probably had something to do with Eddie Van Halen at the time, you know. But yeah, magazines and different people with modding their amps and yeah, I like.
And YouTube is
way back
nuts.
Well, now, but we didn't have that one.
Yeah, back in the 80s.
Yeah, the only way you're gonna find out is from a magazine.
True.
It's so funny how that. It's, you know, sometimes like technology has spoiled a lot of things also. You know, when you always think about your favorite artist and stuff, when you heard an album by them originally or a song, you didn't know what they looked like.
Right.
You didn't know what they looked like at all. The only time you'll see what they look like is in some sort of magazine, like
or the album cover or something.
Kerrang magazines or Hit Parade or maybe the album cover or maybe this. But there was some, you know, there was some sort of mystery to it still. You know, you still had, there was some, when you heard the music initially, generally speaking, you didn't know what they looked like. There's some sort of mystery to it all, you know. And now, you know, now every live performance is videotaped and micro analyzed for how well their pitch was that night. And I don't know. Did you have fun at the show? Or did you stare at it through your phone the whole time? You know, I don't know. I if I go to a show, I don't take any video. I don't do anything. I just watch the show.
I'm with you. I try not to. I might take a few pictures, but you know, but that
maybe,
but that's
maybe.
it. But I'm not
generally,
like
I never look at them again.
I'm not doing this the whole time, you know.
No, and I don't understand. You got to enjoy the experience, you know. Have yourself a drink, go see the show, have fun, you know.
But the main thing was listen to the sound.
Yeah.
What these? I mean, some of these guitars were just so amazing. The way they just brought out their music and used these speakers and Ampeg or whatever, or Marisol, that made this so crazy and beautiful. I mean, I think a girl talking, but a guy would say, "Yeah, I love the tone," you know, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I did find out a few things more than I usually do. I have some shout outs that I want to give out.
Okay.
If you don't mind.
Yeah.
And that's Brian Plummer, Corey Plummer, and Craig Cornelius, who helped me to find you, Dave. And they gave me well, let's start with encouragement to just go forward and keep with my dad's legacy, because people were just sending in, you know, stuff. Where is he? I mean, we're talking about Germany or Japan, or it was just nutty. And these three guys just really just pushed me, you know, to do this for my dad. And that's why I appreciate you guys, these three guys and their families, and my husband for his support, of course, you know. And I was scared as heck. Oh my God.
I think you're doing fine.
Oh, really? You think?
Yeah, you're doing fine.
Great. You're doing great.
No. I also wanted to go back a little bit, that my dad, one of his favorite things for me to see, at least, was people coming into his shop. You know, my dad wasn't a wealthy man, but he loved these enthusiastic musicians that want to be, you know, playing his amps, his tones and everything. He gave them that, and he really didn't charge that much. You know, so that was kind of crazy for me. I kind of asked him once, and he really didn't answer because he didn't involve me in that part of the, you know, the business. But I kind of wondered, I go, shouldn't we kind of like be multi-millionaires by now? But no,
it doesn't work that way.
give all these people, you know, and I'm really thankful for all those who have out to me and said, "We miss your dad. You know, we love his amp. I have one. I have 2, 3, and
yeah,
it's crazy."
yeah.
He left a legacy.
I mean,
Yeah, Mark, I'm telling you, he was. I didn't know he was that big of a person. I mean, you don't know that when you're a teen.
Right.
And later on, like I said, Brian and his son and Greg, just said, "Here, watch, you got to see this." And I'm going, "Wow, we got to bring him back." And then going, "No, not yet. No, this is mine."
I know.
We'll have holograms.
Holograms.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I wish I knew the exact number that I've worked on of his amps. It's safe to say for sure 50.
Wow.
I mean, like I can almost guarantee it's 50. It could be bigger. I mean, I know some people that have a reasonably large collection of them. My Japanese distributor actually has a big collection. I think he has 7 or 8, maybe.
I remember somebody from Japan calling my dad too.
Yeah, and so many other people have come through, like the guitar player that used to play in this band, Lizzie Borden. He came through with his amp once. The old Andy Brower amplifier wound up getting sold to the original guitar player Mick Suida from Bullet Boys, because they used it on their first record. And Andy wound up selling him that amp after he rented it to him for like months. So, and then that came back to me recently too. I remember that amp from when I worked for him, and then that came back to me in recent times to service. And then the Vi amps and the John Sykes amps, and there are several others over the years that I can't even remember who they belong to at this point now.
See, now you know what I mean.
Well, yeah, I mean it's like a long there's a long list. I mean, I still own one, and my original one that your dad did for me, I did wind up selling, and I regret that. And then I regret it even more when the person that I did sell it to years later sold it for $15,000. Though, I mean, yeah, a proper Jose amp in this day and age is anywhere probably from it's probably $15,000 to $25,000.
Wow.
I think that's the rough.
That's nice.
Rough thing. Maybe you might get one at 10, but they don't come up for sale. They just don't come up.
They just don't come up. They get sold privately, probably.
No. I a while back, a friend of mine stumbled upon two of them that a guy was selling, and he and his friend bought them, and then I serviced them. One was in pretty bad shape. Someone had messed with it quite a bit. But we restored it back to what it was. And yeah, and then it's funny, I have another one that used to be one of your dad's amps next to me here somewhere.
Don't show me, because I probably reconed it or did something.
and it used to be one of his amps, but it somehow got unmodded at one point in time, and now we're going to put it back.
Oh wow.
We're going to restore it, to what it was when, or at least what I think it was. So
that's cool.
So, yeah, it keeps going. I've become the seeming expert in these. I've seen every sort of imaginable configuration that exists, and there's and I have favorites of that, so.
That's awesome. That's what I was told by Brian, Greg, and Corey.
Yeah.
This was the guy, and So you know who they are.
So was Jose self-taught or did he have formal electronics education? Thanks for the question, Brian.
I think he was self-taught and he just learned and picked it up, because I don't remember him doing any kind of schooling or him mentioning that. So I think it was self-taught, and Ampeg and Vox did a little bit more, and he taught them a touch more. I don't know how far.
Yeah, I don't know that answer either. I mean, he might have had some kind of electronic background before he went to work for Vox or something.
He was just very intelligent person. He was meticulous, and that's how he got where he was. And so,
we got a question or comment from Steve Malt. What's up, Steve? Hey, everyone. No question. Just wanted to say Happy New Year to everyone here tonight. May your tone be rich and your amps be loud. Thanks, guys.
Love you, Steve. Thank you.
I like that. Maybe we need a T-shirt on that statement there. That's
may your
good.
tone be rich and your amps be loud.
Yeah, that sounds really nice.
I like that.
I'll take a picture of that.
Yeah, take a picture of that. Keep that. That's a good one. That might be a new T-shirt. Might be a new T-shirt for sure.
Okay. And then Jay Busk, thanks for the super chat. Dave, thank you for the Jose mod you did on my 74 Super Lead. It's my dream amp, and I'm super excited to get it back Thursday. I hope the service job wasn't too much of a mess.
Oh, it was a mess, but it came out good.
Well, you took it to the right person, Jay.
It came out good. So you should like it. At least I think. I mean, as long as you have expectations of what it is, I mean, I think sometimes on some of these mods, people think that it should be more gain than it actually is. I mean, it's on the particular one that you had me do, it's not. I wouldn't say it's super high gain, but it's great, a great sounding. I can't judge what gain is anymore. Everyone's gone crazy with gain over the years.
Yeah.
If you think back to the time of when this amp was, the circuit was done, I mean, that was a lot of gain. So
it's like you almost have to
like it. It came out good, man. It came out good. You're gonna like it.
It's like you have to put it into like decades. So is it 80s gain, 90s gain, 2000s gain?
We want to go back and get that gain back.
No, we want to turn the gain down a little bit.
I mean, everything is electronic and digital and stuff. Some people want to hear that old roar sound.
Yeah,
and I think
that is a big thing.
You got it. I think you got it, and we can make it big with that.
Yeah, real tubes, real amps.
Oh my goodness!
Not fake, not electronic. Huh?
Can we still get some tubes?
Yeah, Why? I hope so, considering my whole company is built on tubes. Yes,
they're still available.
We're good,
thankfully.
Yeah.
Walrus, Dave, I've heard you've been shocked many times. Is biasing an amp for a non-tech really that dangerous? I'd say no.
No, it's not that dangerous. If you use a bias probe, you're not really messing in the amp too much other than to turn a trim pot. And the best thing that I could say when doing that is use one hand. Don't touch the amp other than where the screwdriver goes for the bias pot, and you should be okay.
Look, if I've been able to do it,
yeah,
you can do it.
I'm an idiot. If you do get a little shock, you'll be okay.
It'll wake you up.
It'll wake you up.
It's like
definitely wake you up.
Nothing like
I always said the worst thing about getting shocked, and the thing is that no matter how, if you do a lot of amp service, you've been shocked. And the funny thing about that is I often say it's not the shock. It's when you feel the shock, your first instinct is to yank your arms back as fast as you can. What actually hurts more is the fact you yank your arms back so forcibly and so fast. It's like oh, my shoulder. No, it's like seriously, like that's worse than actually getting the shock. It's just that you recoil so fast from it.
I like that.
Yeah, maybe.
What can I say? You never know.
Let's see. We have a comment from Alan Garber. What's up, Alan? Hope you're doing well.
Hey, Alan.
Jose was a deep thinker. He spoke in metaphors constantly. He had a really strong belief in art and artists and the part he played in helping get an artist sound the way they felt it should. Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Thank you, Alan.
Yep.
I believe that to the full T.
Alan's a great guy. So thanks for the comment, Alan.
Yeah, that's awesome. I like to hear his music someday too. But gosh. Oh.
We got another one. Was the first Bullet Boys album a Jose?
Yes. It was Andy Brower's Jose, and it was Mick Sweda was the guitar player at the time. And then I worked on that amp years later. I remember that amp when it was in the rental fleet. And I remember that amp distinctly. And it was funny. It was really cool to hear it again because I remembered it as a certain way, and it actually sounded a lot better than I remembered it sounding. So years later, especially after I serviced it, he still has it.
Yeah,
he also bought one of my amps.
I hear that a lot of people have my dad's amps, and they're still alive.
Yeah.
I mean, I hear so many comments like that, and
I mean, when he bought it, I don't remember what year that record was. Maybe Michael could chime in, but when he bought it, it had to be like somewhere between 88 and 92.
That's what I'm thinking.
Or something, somewhere in there. When he bought it first of all, they rented it forever. It probably paid for it already a couple times on rentals, and then he finally talked Andy out of it. And at the time, Andy thought he got a huge amount of money for it. That, of course, that was that then. It was like $3,000. But $3,000 then, considering the average cost of a Marshall that you would buy is like $300 to $600.
It's a big upcharge.
I mean, it's that big. And then the mod, I mean, I think the mods were anywhere from $350 to $650 roughly in the thing. So, that's still a big upcharge.
Yep. By the way, Mike Thorne sent me a thread, I think on one of the forums. There was a big question about what happened to Andy Brower. And we should do a what happened to Andy Brower show.
Oh, well, we could probably have him on, but it might be interesting.
That's what I've heard.
It might be
interesting sometimes.
It might be a little out there. The other funny thing is the other person that we've been talking about, I've talked to about coming on is a guy who ran Andy Brower's at the time, Lon Cohen. And Lon Cohen ran Andy Brower's studio rentals during the time I worked for Andy. So he was the manager, so to speak. Andy was the figurehead, and Lon was the guy that really made it run. And he had lots of good stories and lots of fun stuff too. So we should probably think about having him on at some point in time.
Yeah.
Oh, you're Xing me out already?
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
We're not Xing you out.
No, you got plenty of time here. Michael Nielsen, I just wanted to say, hey, buddy, Happy New Year. We've got more questions. Let's say Doug Thacker. Hello, Marisol. Can you talk about how your dad met EVH? How is your dad with all the attention? Thank you so much.
Oh, I can chime in on this because I was just told how this happened. So I'm sorry to jump in on like this, but I know he addressed it to you, but I just told you. So I was talking to a guitar tech friend of mine who was in the early 90s, Michael Anthony's tech. And Michael was telling him the story of Michael always played Ampeg. And he knew this guy at Ampeg, Jose, and Ed needed someone to do something. And Michael introduced Jose to Ed because of the connection with Ampeg. At least that's what I was just told. Sounds about right.
That sounds about right.
That makes sense.
I remember back in the days too, meeting Eddie, and he's an awesome guy. And so was Michael Anthony. And I don't know how they exactly met, but I know there was a lot of interviewing with amps, remodifying things, and that's all I remember. Like I said, my dad kept me out of the business portion, but I kind of try to sneak in there and find out a little bit more because, hey, look who he's dealing with. He's Metallica, and all this. We're talking about some great people here.
That was another amp I just worked on recently.
Oh, did you?
In the last few years, yeah, James Hetfield's.
I want to meet him.
His amp, I worked on his amp. I've never met him, but I worked on his amp. I worked on it through the producer that is producing them now.
Oh, well, he should know who's doing the work.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I think he knows who's doing the work. I just haven't personally met him.
Oh, okay. Well, someday maybe. Maybe at the NAMM show.
I never know.
Ask Jay. What's up, Jay? Hey, Marisol. I was a kid in the 80s, but I know your dad's work for sure. Welcome. So you lived in LA. You ever see Pulp Fiction?
Yes, I have.
I don't know why that has to do with anything.
Well, I don't know how that has to do with anything.
I don't know. Maybe he wants to do the old dance, I don't know.
That's funny. Yeah, Pulp Fiction. That's a strange one. I love that movie, though. I love Quentin.
Yeah, that was a great movie.
Quentin Tarantino movies. They're just the best.
Mm-hmm.
They're great.
Got many.
Yeah. Enrico, what's up? Great conversation tonight. Jose's legend status. Is this interview the setup for a Mick Mars amp?
All right. Well, this sort of okay. We'll make the announcement then. So we are, with Marisol's blessing, we are going to be doing a kind of end-all be-all Jose tribute amplifier under the Friedman brand name, with his signature on the amp, and actually his likeness will be on the amp too. And even his last name under the logo will be there. And at least I think that's how it's working out. I haven't made it yet. It'll be ready for NAMM though. And it's going to be kind of a very limited release. Meaning we're going to continue making them, but it's going to be, I want to be very, very, very hands-on with this one. So we're going to do it out of our custom shop. It'll be available direct through Friedman, and it won't be readily available at dealers. So it'll be a direct sale from Friedman only. And again, I'm going to be extremely hands-on in this one. So I want to make sure every amp lives up to what it should be. And it'll have all the bells and whistles of all the mods, or most all the mods that I've ever seen from Jose. And it should be really awesome. My favorite take on all the ones I've ever seen. And I've worked on a lot. John Sykes, Steve Vai, on and on. Mick Suida,
So this isn't one this isn't one particular
this isn't one particular amp. Now, more might come later, but this particular amp is kind of has all the gain styles that he ever did, has the higher gain pre-tone stack master kind of things that have been popularized by, people like Mike Fortin and this and that, but they don't have the name. And they don't have, I want to give back. Jose was an amazing person. I want to give back to the family. I think there was a long time I wanted to get in contact with you. I knew you existed out there. I didn't know exactly how to get in contact with you. But I had thought, wouldn't it be great if we just did something together? And that's what this is. This is officially sanctioned, officially licensed. There's some stuff I've seen from Marisol. All of this is in the DNA of this amp.
Oh, that touches me. Now, I told you I don't want to cry. It's emotional for me. But thank you, Dave. That was really, really special for me.
Yeah.
And I think this is going to be a fabulous turnaround. I mean, it's got so much of my dad in it that I think it's going to be what people want.
Yeah.
That tone. I think you're going to give them exactly what my daddy would have done.
Yeah. And I'm not adding to this. I'm not making it better. The only thing that I'm doing is, so there's some slightly better ways of doing the switching and things than he did and at the time between different modes and things. Just on that standpoint, yes, I've fixed some issues that have existed, but they're traditional circuits that I have seen in the 50 plus amps that I've worked on. So should be awesome.
What's the platform amp?
It's 100 watt. The first product is going to be 100 watt flagship sort of amp.
4-hole or 2-hole?
Well, it's going to it's going to be it's not going to be the traditional 4. Well, actually on Jose amps it would be 3 holes, but it's not going to be that. It's going to be, there's one input. The way the gain, the extra gain stage switches in and out completely. There's a way you can use it in a plexi kind of mode. There's a way you can use it with clipping diodes or not clipping diodes. There's 2 styles of masters on the amp, the pre-tone stack master and the post. Some people will know what this means. Every conceivable thing, including 2 different style presence controls, because depending on the era amp that was modded at the time, there were several different iterations of the presence circuit. So, and a lot of times he didn't change that. He just modded the amp and left that presence circuit as it was in the original Marshall. So there's 2 distinct presence circuits that you can switch between and just decide which you like better. Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
Oh, it sounds freaking awesome.
Yeah, it does.
Well, I know there's gonna be big demand for it. That's for sure.
Yeah, it will be slowly rolled out in a limited release. We'll show it at NAMM, even though technically dealers aren't going to be able to buy it, but it will be there. And how fast it goes in production, it just depends on how fast we get the parts after NAMM. Let's say roughly 2 to 3 months after it'll be available
in production.
You just have to order the individual parts and everything, and then get it into production, and then have them to be able to release it. And there will be there'll be some sort of walkthrough video of me showing you all the features of it, and then there'll probably be several typical YouTube guy videos doing, doing their thing.
Or Michael Nielsen.
Well, of course, Michael Nielsen will be one of them.
Of course.
Although the bad part is, I'm not sure. I mean, Pete's going on tour, so we'll see. I mean, eventually he might be able to fit it in there somewhere, but we'll see how his schedule goes.
Hopefully, Pete can get one in.
Yeah, because I want him to do the video.
Yeah, that's his thing.
I know. He's just so good at what he does.
He's great. He's so good.
Yeah.
I wish
I had New Year's with Pete.
Did you?
Yeah, we were hanging out in Pasadena.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, went to dinner and then watched all the crazy people. I never realized how many people, they do the parade, right? The Pasadena Rose Parade or whatever, and or whatever it's called. And they camp out, on the street. And I mean, we were there, maybe I was there at around 6 p.m. It's the next morning, and the streets are all lined with people already with air mattresses, chairs, sleeping. They're going to sleep there. And I'm like looking at them all going, you guys are crazy.
Yeah, you're nuts.
You guys are crazy. You guys are nuts for doing this. It's cold. It was cold. It was reasonably cold. I mean, not like winter cold, but I mean, it was
like Idaho.
Yeah, not like Idaho cold. But it was, we were out at night. I mean, it was, I'm sure it'd be dip into the 40s area, so then I was watching all these people. I'm like, oh my God, these people, when did they get here? That's the question I had.
And just for a parade
that morning?
It's for a parade.
Yeah, it's just for a parade.
You wouldn't catch me doing that.
So, Mark, you have quite a background too.
I've got quite the.
Got all sorts of amps.
I got a collection. Yeah.
You guys are gurus too.
I've got three of Dave's amps, and I've got that one up there is actually a Jose style modded amp.
The top one?
Yeah, the top one. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep. My friend Jason and Shay did that for me. So let's see. Bill, we got another question. Bill, thanks for the super chat. Growing up in the 80s, I was fascinated by all those great tones. Later, I learned that Jose was the guy behind a lot of them. Started a lifelong journey for me. Thanks for having Marisol on the show. She's rock royalty.
Oh, awesome. Look at that.
There you go.
Thank you for the blessings. Thank you.
That's very nice.
Appreciate that. I am the princess, by the way. At least my dad used to call me his little baby girl.
There you go. I'm sure he loved you a lot. Rummy, thanks for the super chat. Marisol, how does it make you feel when you hear Jose mod? Your father's work means so much to us guitar players.
Rummy, my dad's legacy is just beyond me. I didn't realize that it was so worldwide, actually. I'm going to tell you that because I've had so many people try to reach out to me and find out things, get pictures or anything that had to do with my dad and tell me, oh, I have an amp that he did in 1960 something or something like that. So it's awesome to feel so grateful to so many people. And I thank all these musicians that he helped. He's a legacy to keep going on.
Yep.
And thank you, Dave, for providing that, and Mark. And,
I didn't have anything to do with it. It's all Dave.
You put me on the air, and that's what matters. And Dad, I know, I asked him to help me out with this interview because I was like terrible. I was like shaking.
You're nervous.
Thank you so much, Rummy, and thank you for reaching out.
You seem very comfortable now.
Yeah, you're good.
Because I've had a couple of sips of wine. I mean, oh my God, I was so bad. I was taking Tums. I was doing this. And that.
Oh God.
Poor Brian's going, relax.
Yeah.
No, you're doing great.
No, thanks, guys.
Sabo Wabo. I would be cool if the Jose Friedman came with a commemorative book. If Marisol could provide pics of her dad, the shop, the amps, etc.
Wow, that's interesting.
That's a good idea, actually.
Yes, it is.
Huh.
Yes,
I might have to consider this.
Yeah, or like a pamphlet or something,
Or something. I don't know how many pictures we actually have and how much stuff we can actually do. I mean, I probably could cobble some together, though. I mean, maybe. That's interesting.
And I know peeps that said they have pictures with my dad, so I think we could provide that.
That might be interesting.
Yeah. Good suggestion.
It's going to extend our
Zabo Wabo.
Oh, that's where I'm thinking Cabo Wabo.
Yeah, well, I think it's a little play on that. Yeah.
At least we haven't got our favorite name yet.
Oh yeah.
So there's the one guy that comes on our shows a lot, and I don't have no idea who it is. I don't know his name, or do we, Mark?
No, I don't know him. No,
you don't know his name, but the title, like how Zabo Wabo is Scent of a Wheelchair Pillow. Yeah. That just gives very, very weird images.
That's different. Yeah. I'll let you deal with that one.
We
because I don't know.
We like that for creativity.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty good actually. And hopefully he is a well person.
Yeah, hopefully, yes.
Dave's eyes are tearing because
I don't know why. I just
it's okay.
Allergies. I have allergies and stuff.
We'll do this again.
Of course, this question will come up. So, any idea what the amps will cost? Dave?
I don't know the exact cost as of yet. I can take a wild guess, and that's somewhere between 35 to 4 for a 100-watt amp. That's generally the price range. So I don't have a definitive price yet.
Okay. Ted says that amp sounds like the modern Marshall I had built by Raw at Perfect Guitar and Amp Repair. Sorry, that wasn't the one I wanted to go to. Never mind. Oh, it's there. Where is Scent of a Wheelchair Pillow?
Oh my goodness.
That's so funny.
You guys. I can't believe how many comments there are.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Never ends.
Oh, there's tons of people. Yeah. Let me see if there's any more super chats. No more super chats. So you said, Dave, like 2 to 3 months after NAMM.
Yeah. Possibly. So I have to actually build the first one. I have I know what it's going to be already. Yeah, I know. Thank you. Oh, I know. I have the circuit boards in front of me, so that's good. So, yeah, so that's a start. I'm just waiting on the chassis.
So it has to be ready.
I'm waiting on the chassis.
It's ready in 2 weeks, basically.
Nice.
I have 3 weeks.
3 weeks. When's the show? The 21st?
Starts the 23rd, I think.
23rd. Yeah, you got 3 weeks.
I have like 3 weeks.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
Down to the wire.
Yes.
Well, all the partying has passed us. We did Christmas.
Yes, that's done.
New Year's.
Yeah. It's all out of the way now, and now it's nothing but work.
There you go.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Exactly.
Back to reality. It was nice to have a little break though.
But we want a good reality.
Oh yeah.
5 has got to be a good reality.
It's gonna be awesome. I think the launch there's a lot of interest for an official Jose amp.
And this is, again, I didn't feel right about necessarily making something that I wasn't giving something back to the family. Yes, everything is influenced by things that your dad did, and there's a lot of people that do some things that are similar and they're tweaked a little bit, myself included. And but like to do it really like exactly it, I felt that it needed to be licensed, so to speak. You know, I needed to do it with the family.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, to give back. You know, he was a wonderful person. I mean, like, you know, he was just a wonderful person. So,
you know, it's a funny thing because I started researching a couple of things, what I have and this and that, and I came across my dad's voicemail for Arc Electronics, and I'm going, oh my goodness!
Oh wow!
This is my dad. You know, and you hear the accent, you hear the whole, and I don't know if anybody's ever called my dad's shop. Oh, well, I'm sorry. We know a lot of people called my dad's shop, and it was this. Actually, I have it. If you guys care to hear it,
yeah.
I don't know if it'll be.
Yeah, if you play it on your phone or something, it'll come through the mic. I think.
I should. Let's try. I'm gonna try. But it's kind of crazy. It makes me a little emotional, but it's crazy.
I get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you.
Yeah, we heard it more. We heard it more at the end.
Voice? Oh my goodness!
Yeah, we heard it more at the end. It was a little hard to hear, but yes.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
No. He heard it towards the end, so that was his voice message.
Yeah, but when I came across it, I'm going, oh my goodness!
Wow.
Yeah, that's
that
great.
Yeah, it's. I'm sure it's emotional. So let's see. We got a few questions here. From Joshua Alanes. Thanks for the super chat. Dave, still doing Jose mods on Marisol? Have a 73 lead with non-OG transformers and a hoe drilled in the back.
Yeah, I mean, I do work. I mean, I'm really busy right now, but I do it. It would be a while before I could do something, but yeah, sure, I could.
Okay.
I wonder where he's from.
Don't know.
I'm not sure.
The background
looks nice.
Yeah, like Easter Island, actually.
This is the most beautiful thing you have ever done. Thank you. Well, that's nice, Dave.
Oh, awesome.
Let's see. Emailed already. SGW. Dave, take my money. That's funny.
All right, I have opinions to ask then. So do you guys want to see it? I'm kind of, creating the legacy of, the modded Marisol that he did, right? But we're going to put all the mods and stuff he ever did in an amplifier. So now, cosmetically, do you want to see the front panel control plate be gold? Or would you like to see it black with gold writing? It will also be a centered amp. And people will understand what that is. Sort of like how our Plex amp is. It'll be centered with the logo in the center. So do you want to see it gold panel, or do you want to see black panel with gold writing with the gold knobs? What would you like? The back panel on the amp will be black with gold writing, though, because there's an image I want to do of your dad's face that I found that will look amazing on a black panel in gold, because the picture already looks that way. It's like kind of a kind of an image that it's I found it on the internet, but it's an image. It was taken from a picture, but it's not, a picture on the panel. It's like just kind of the outline of his face, and you see the eyebrows and everything, and it's on a black background with gold. So
Wow, you're getting a lot of responses.
So yes. So are we getting responses?
The vote is gotta bring in the vote.
You got to bring in the vote. The back panel will be black, though, gold writing, no matter what. So the front,
it's almost even. It's almost even. We got like 11 or 12 for gold and like 10 for black.
How that
Oh,
fast.
but somebody says that I can pick the colors.
Well, yeah, you could. You know, the only reason I asked that is because I am making the back panel, which is the back panel. It doesn't really matter. The black with gold writing, because that picture will look better on that background like that than it will on a gold panel. So.
Oh, look at that.
So I don't know.
I would say mostly people are saying gold, but there are people with black and gold.
Mm-hmm.
Got to be plexi gold, black with gold writing. So, but match the panels.
Wow.
Could you do both, or it has to be just one?
I don't know. That's a good question. Gold on the front, back in the black. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So. Yeah. What I'm thinking is the front plate will be gold. That's what I'm initially thinking. Personally, I like the other better, but I'm wanting to kind of do traditional, and it'd probably be gold. Like I said, the back panel will be black with gold writing, which works also. It's just on the back. That's not an issue. And because that picture will come out really good. The picture and a signature. Picture and a signature.
Awesome. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'll
send you the picture, Marisol, so you know what I'm talking about.
I think it's going to be super great.
In fact, I might be able to.
But it's not just the look also. It's just that sound that it's going to bring out.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for it all. I can't wait for you to hear all these happy people.
Yeah.
You know, to play with it and make it the sounds right and for what they want. It's going to be pretty cool.
Absolutely. Guitars for your project. Are you going to have a smaller version of the BE100 Deluxe?
Am I going to have a smaller version of it? What do you mean by that? Do you mean like a smaller version as in size or as in wattage? Currently, no. That might be possible in the future. There's another amp coming out at NAMM also, which I'm not going to divulge what that is, but I will divulge that it is a 20-watt amp, and it will be pretty full featured for a 20-watt amp for me. So
awesome. NAMM's going to be great.
Yeah, there's 2 things I got to do.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
You got 3 weeks.
I know.
Bill says gold panel. Thanks, Bill.
Yep. Well, in the front. Okay, that's fine. Gold's fine.
Will the amp be a limited run? No,
but limited availability, meaning I'm going to be heavily involved in them, and I only have so much time. So.
Okay. Jose Friedman is one louder.
What we will do is probably announce how to order and when sometime in the near future. I want to have a little tutorial video on what it does before I announce how you can. There probably will be a pre-order on the product. So we have to set all that up. So I can't really tell you when right now, but I have to set all that up. So if you want to get in early when we announce the pre-order, I would suggest you do that. Because again, they're going to roll out slowly.
Mario, what's up, Mario? How you doing, man? 100-watt black panel, 50-watt gold panel.
Well, that's a possibility, but the 50-watt, I don't know. That doesn't exist yet. So let's not talk about that yet. Let me build this one first.
Well, Brian, even though it's 100 watts, it's going to have the master volume on it, so you won't need an attenuator.
Yeah, it'll have a master volume.
So you'll be fine, man. Master volume. It won't be like the Plex.
Yeah. Well, that has a master volume that works quite well.
That's true. That's right. Well, you're right. I forgot about that. Although I do use I dime the Plex. So, let's see.
Wait. We got something. Zeke Downey. Which preamp tube by Shugong? 12AX7B. You would want a 12AT7. You want the 12AX7. So the Shugong 12AX7B. And in fact, that is what I will also be using in this amp too, with JJ EL34s. So get crazy in the tubes also.
I just saw a question from.
Yes, the Jose will be a single channel. Chris Quinn. Single channel with lots of features. So you can dial it in a bunch of different ways. You want lower gain kind of thing, you can do it. You want a plexi kind of thing, you can do it. You want the highest gain mod that Jose did, you will have that. You have a lot of features to be able to tweak it to your taste. Fan Hale and Derek, how are you?
What's up, Derek?
How will it differ from the play? It's traditional Jose designs. So it's not necessarily plexi, and it's the Jose designs. Everything in one shoebox.
And it would be different than the BE.
Yeah, it'd be different than the BE because it's all the traditional exact stuff that I've seen in the 50+ amps that I've worked on. So yes.
It's not your tweaks on.
Not my tweaks, not my take on it.
Right, exactly.
It is other than the only take I have in it is I've improved some of the switching elements of it. How it switches from mode to mode. Mm-hmm. So you can get a pretty versatile out of it, but it's traditional to the circuits.
Okay. That's cool. That's what makes it different.
Yeah.
Gonna be crazy.
Lots of work.
Yeah, tell me about it.
I want to remind Dave again.
Let's see what are Mick Mars's Jose's?
Mick Mars's Jose's were essentially what was called the 3-in-1 mod. It's not exceptionally high gain. It's an extra gain stage in front of how we would think of it today. Is it's an extra gain stage in front of like a Marshall with a master volume. It's not like super high gain, but it's it's heavy sounding. It's good sounding. Mick's particular amp that Richard Fortis owned. It has a few peculiarities in it that are a little different than most, and that's kind of an interesting one.
Will it have an effects loop?
Yes, it will. It will have an effects loop. That is an added feature, but fully bypassable, so it doesn't have to be in the chain at
all.
Yeah,
is there any?
That is the added feature that I added, the effects loop part, a proper one, unlike the original sort of archaic ones that were done at the time. So,
right. Is there anything new from the Synergy module lineup? Absolutely amazing products. Well, They launched their new head is coming.
The Sin 20 IR is coming. They had that on their social media. So
yeah,
which is a cool little amp. It's a neat little amp.
I don't know about any modules though. I haven't heard anything. Dave, you?
No, not well, maybe there is something else, but I'm not at liberty to say.
This is an interesting question. What's heavier sound, a Jose Marshall or a Mesa Boogie Mark II C+?
Really? I mean, they're totally different. They're totally opposite. So Bob Rock told me, so all the Metallica stuff, right, was either a 2C plus or a Mark III Mesa blended with a Jose. So blended with his Jose, actually, like on the Black Album and stuff. And he said like the Mesa was like the gain and the width and kind of scoop sounding, and then the Jose had the mid range in the middle with all the grunt in the middle. So they complement each other.
So, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, Ola's video is great.
Yeah, he fixed that problem that Mesa Boogie had with their demo, didn't they?
I
mean, and also how he explained how to dial it in made so much sense. Actually, more sense than I even ever imagined. Like in the explanation, why and how it's the signal path of it and stuff. It made so much sense.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. And he made it sound crushing.
Yeah. And then he did a video comparing the old one to the new one, and it's pretty freaking close.
I didn't see that one.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too. It's like a 2-minute video or something.
Yeah, it's probably minor differences.
Very minor. Very close.
I always say this though. When people do comparison videos like that, they should always do it comparison A, comparison B. And they should never disclose which is which. Because people are always biased to what they think is going to sound better. So if they think, okay, here's Friedman versus a Marshall. If they think the Marshall is going to sound better, right? Or they think that's the OG and that's the original, it's going to sound better. If you take the visuals away and just go on sound, it's very interesting what happens then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well,
it's not so, oh yeah, that's so much better, yeah, blah blah blah. No, it's actually, you might pick the opposite.
Well, you hear with your eyes, people say.
Yeah, you hear with your eyes. That's what people say, and it's very true.
Happy New Year. Thanks, Pentatonic Prancer. Happy New Year. How about a plexi silkscreen panels?
Well, that's not going to happen. It's a plexi-like material that's UV printed on. It's the other thing is just not doable. It's so problematic and so prone to breaking and cracking, and it's just no.
How will the amp be compared to the amps that John Sykes used?
Very similar. I mean, it will capture all the different sounds that Jose had. I mean, I've worked on a couple of John's amps and the Vi amps, and it'll have all that stuff in it. You can use it a variety of ways. That's why I'm going to do a little like kind of on the bench walkthrough of like, here's this mode, here's this mode, here's this mode, here's this mode,
NRF, what's up, man? Dave, you modded my 1977 JMP with a Jose mod in 23. Treble gain, bass gain, diode clipping, another push-pull gain. I love my amp, but just curious what I might miss out on by not partaking.
I don't remember exactly what I did to your amp, so I don't know. It'd probably be very similar to what you have, to be honest. I'm just straight honest. Other than the fact that, you do have a 77, so you do have an older amp. That's a good question. What are you missing? I don't know if you have I'm not sure if you have the two different styles of masters or not. I don't remember exactly what I did. I'm sorry. Maybe you do. You might already have it all.
Yeah, but you don't have it officially with Jose's name on it.
You don't have officially with the Jose name and the picture on it.
And that you got to have.
Signature.
So, right. Oh, Pentatonic Prancer again. Thanks for the super chat. But Dave said no.
not exactly, no. You can't really do that very well anymore. It's an interesting thing. I mean, Plexi's very fragile and it just cracks and stuff, and it's just, which I actually like it when it cracks, but that's a whole different story.
There was this question, but there was a question earlier how this amp will be different from what Mark Cameron did. And what do you think?
Well, Mark so Mark was involved evidently Marisol when your father's amps and stuff were liquidated.
I'm back.
When your father's amps were liquidated, they were sold to Guitar Oasis, I think. Most of the stuff was sold to Guitar Oasis, which was a store, and Mark Cameron worked for Guitar Oasis at the time. So he saw a lot of these undone amps and a bunch of stuff that was left over. Supposedly there was tons of amps that went to them from your dad's estate, so to speak, sold off. I mean, how is it different? Mark has a certain take on it that he did. It probably has some similarities. But I'm kind of keeping as traditional to the circuits as I can.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, what do I think about Mark's amps? I mean, Mark's. I mean, Mark's had lots of troubles and stuff with the public and stuff, but Mark's a good dude. I don't have any problems with Mark. I think he made some pretty cool sounding amps. There was a certain take on the stuff he learned from all those amps.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Patrick, Dave, have you worked on Joe Holmes amps, or do you know what's going on with them inside? He would be a great guest to have on. We're working on that.
And actually he said that would happen. So that's gonna happen probably. I have in the past, quite a few years ago now, I mean, really a long time ago, when he was playing with Ozzy, I worked on his amps, retubed some of them and stuff. So yeah, I mean, there's nothing. I mean, it's the when you take everything that I've seen on all these amps, there is common ground with all of them. There's a lot of common ground between all of them. It's just a question of, is it the lower gain version? Is it the one with the clipping diodes? Did it have both? So there, I mean, I've been through them all, and I pretty much what I'm going to give you in an amp is going to be the best of all that stuff from all those artist amps and stuff I've worked on. Okay. Some stuff wasn't as good. It's simply, there was some stuff that I'm just hypothesizing here, but there was some stuff that your dad would try and things, and I don't think that it became common. Like, I could see some evolution in things that happened.
Right.
And then depending on the player too, that would be a big thing also. Is like, what did that player want? Yeah. It's like to tune it for them. Maybe it wasn't tuned for everyone. It was tuned for that individual player, and that's what they wanted out of it, .
Exactly. Very Dumble-esque.
Yeah.
Dumble did.
Let's put it this way: if you like the Pete Thorne Steve Vai video Jose thing, then you'll like what we'll have going here.
It's one of my favorites.
So
yeah. I like that one a lot.
Guitars for your project. Thanks for the super chat. I'll be at NAMM. Will the new 20 watt you're hinting will be there, and the price point? Anything you can tell us about it?
It's a full featured 20 watts, so it's going to be a little more than the $16.99 price point. I don't have a definitive price yet. It'll be under 2,000 though. So, but it has considerably more features. So,
NRF said his 77 has 2 masters.
Oh
so,
yeah, then you probably have most of it then.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Ran out of water.
That's
all right.
the problem.
Yeah, I need someone to bring me some more water.
I like the metallic Scott Brockway. I like the Metallica Jose. Yeah, and that does not have clipping diodes. That is
just the extra gain stage.
Just the extra gain stage, and that's just percussive and punchy, and that's what it does. It's not like super high gain.
Which type of Jose mods were in the Rad amps?
He didn't do mods on the Rad amps. At least not that I know of. I know Warren had done some things with him, but some little things like a line out box or different little things and service some amps. But Warren's amp is a Frank Levi thing. So I'm friends with Warren. I've worked on his amps, so yeah. And the original Bark of the Moon amp was a Jose amp for Jakey Lee.
That's right.
Yeah. Actually, Brian told me all about that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so that was that. I didn't get a lot of more information out of him on that, but yeah.
Does Jake still have that amp?
No.
Yeah, he sold it.
No, that was long gone, a long time ago.
Right.
I don't know when.
Will the Jose amp that you make, Dave, have the word vintage on it?
It will not have the word vintage on it. I think like you brought that up, on the logo that we have for the vintage line, right? It'll say Friedman Vintage. Well, I think it's going to say Friedman, and under it, instead of vintage, it'll say Arredondo. Because it would look weird to just say Friedman and then Jose below it, but it'll say Jose on the back.
Oh, we all know the concept of where it came from.
Yeah. I just thought it was dawned on me the other day because we did the logo like on Mark's amp back there. It says vintage underneath Friedman, and I go, why don't we just put Arredondo underneath the Friedman, and that would be great.
Yeah,
right on the front, and just subtle and look nice, and yeah,
maybe with the
I was spitballing with that, but I think that's what's going to happen.
Would that have the signature?
Not on the front. On the back,
No.
there'd be a signature.
I see.
On the back, there'll be a picture and a signature.
Oh, sweet. That'd look. I mean, people who are just waiting for something like this that you're bringing out, to see his signature, his name on it.
Yeah.
I mean, this is going to be so fantastic. I can't wait.
Yeah. If I don't
got 3 weeks.
Die trying to get it all done. Yep. We'll be good.
Are you going to NAMM?
Keep reminding you. 3 weeks.
She is going to NAMM.
Awesome.
She is going to NAMM.
Yeah. I'm gonna
want to see it in person, at least for a day.
I know. I can't wait to meet you guys and anybody else that shows up to ask about my dad. And
you're gonna go? Didn't I hear right from Brian that you're gonna go visit your kid? Your
I have family in California.
San Diego.
Yeah.
San Diego or something?
Yeah, my son.
Your son.
He's in San Diego, and one's in Texas, and they're all spread. But lots of grandkids in San Diego.
Oh boy,
that's a nice place.
Yeah, it's going to be a nice run. I'm only going to probably be there for one of the days, and
Yeah.
the rest be vacation. But
Yeah.
Gotta
enjoy.
do it.
Go down to San Diego and enjoy.
Absolutely. Can you order the amp in 3 weeks?
All right, hang on. I will announce on our social media when you can place. Like I said, we will probably do a pre-order for it. I have to work all of that out first. I have to get all the infrastructure in place in order to do that for you. So hang on a second. It's not even made yet.
But the idea is on.
Yeah.
Dan says, I can't wait to see and hear this amp.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, awesome. I love your bike.
Now, can I order now? No.
Look, maybe we'll do a waiting list really soon, but give me a second to set that up. I have to set up a special email for it.
Daniel Belensky, what's up? Thanks for the super chat. Dave, do you believe that vintage guitar is better than new? Isn't it all about the following the right recipe, pickups, hardware, finish, construction? If they nailed it back then, no issues to nail it today. That's what I believe.
I mean, I think a new one can sound just as good as an old one. I don't think how it's so individual for every piece of wood, and how dry is that wood? How long has it been around? How has it dried out for a long time? Is it kind of wet and heavy? I don't think. I mean, there's some things to be said about certain pickups in certain eras when they made certain pickups and things, but no, I don't think necessarily a vintage guitar is 100% better than a new guitar. Everything you said there, hardware, finish, everything comes into play.
Yep. By the way, this reminded me of, I watched today on Netflix, they have Norman's Rare Guitars documentary.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, if you haven't checked it out, it's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really great. It's a great story about Norm and his shop and all the people he's worked with and how he built up all his collection. And yeah, it's really cool.
Oh, I'd like to see that.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. Just look it up. Norman's Rare Guitars.
He's been around forever.
Yeah,
I would have to do the same thing with my dad.
Yeah, right?
I didn't mention it because I thought, no, I'm doing something else, but I was asked to do the same thing.
Well, documentary, that would be great.
That'd be amazing.
It would be.
You can get a bunch of artists and stuff talking about, your dad and stuff. That would be pretty easy to do.
Yeah.
So
you just got to get the right film. You got to get the right filmmaker and stuff to do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But it would be cool.
And it's kind of like get it done soon, because a lot of these guys are, it's like the next, I would say, like
getting older.
Yeah, everyone's getting older. No one's getting younger. So yeah, exactly. No one's getting younger.
That's politely saying it.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Man. Essentially, what you're saying is everyone's dying.
Yeah, we're all dropping. I know.
Slowly.
I've been on the King of Tone wait list for 6 years. I hope it's not that. No, you're not going to wait 6 years.
No, not at all. No, literally, like once I have this amp there, I have to just order the parts. Actually, some of the parts are common, so to things we use already. So it's not that hard, but you have to realize that, okay, once you have the parts, then you have to start making them. So how many weeks will it take to make how many? Because you have to have a certain number of them at least before you actually start shipping. So, whatever that might be, like in other releases, like maybe we're making 50 to 100 of them before we start shipping them. Right. So how long? I mean, that takes a while to make. You have to have them to ship them. So that takes a while to do. So like, if you take, if I say 2 to 3 months, right? If it takes 2 to 4 weeks to get all the parts, then you got to actually start physically making them. It might take another month to get a sizable amount of them, alone. And that can be skewed a little bit. So it could take the 3 months, you know what I mean? So it's,
and you want the perfection.
And then you got to do videos, and you got to do this. This is a little easier because we don't have to rely on. So sometimes when we do a release, you have to ship the amps to dealers before release. Well, we don't have to do that this time. So this is, like I said, this is direct out of our custom shop. That's the only place it will be available. So we will see about Europe. That might be different in Europe. But in the US, the only place available will be us. And we don't have to wait for the dealers to get the product in shipping before we release them, you know. So we have a little bit of a faster timetable than normal.
Yeah.
There's a lot involved, like with a release, there's a lot involved. Just getting the like a normal release, getting the videos done and getting all this done and getting it all ready to go and launch, that's a lot.
Yeah. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basile says his birthday's in May. Just saying.
Okay.
That's funny. Christopher Allen, thanks for the mention here, Mark. I remember when you talked about wiring a right-handed guitar pots for lefty. Try using a 1 meg pot and 1 meg fixed resistor in parallel for 500K pot, and it swells way better than a 500K pot by itself.
Or you can use reverse audio taper pot.
True.
That is just the flip.
Is it?
Yeah, reverse audio taper pot is just a flip of an audio taper pot. So so theoretically, when it's wired the other way, it's very confusing, Mark. I don't know.
Yeah.
When you learn to play guitar, you should have learned righty.
I had no choice. It was.
You're a lefty?
I'm a lefty.
Yeah, he's a lefty, so all the guitars are backwards.
Yeah, they're all my amps are righty though. What's that?
Sorry.
Yeah, hey, it was my choice. So
that's why when my son started playing guitar, I'm like, you're learning right-handed.
Yeah. Hey.
And he's been doing it right-handed. So like,
is he lefty though?
He's left-handed.
And does he like throw the ball with the left hand and stuff like that too, or is he?
He doesn't really throw a ball, but yeah. He's left-handed. He writes left-handed. Like, I guess he throws the ball. Yeah, throws the football left-handed. Yeah.
Okay.
I think
my dad was a lefty.
Oh yeah.
He also do everything with the right hand. So he was
ambidextrous.
Ambidextrous.
He was able to do all that, with both hands.
Wow.
But he signed with his left.
Oh. Well, I knew he was special. Let's see. Mark, let's see your EVH tattoo.
What?
Okay, sure.
Let me see, like.
Oh, wrong arm. There you go.
Oh my goodness. Go from right to left.
Can you see
wow.
That? Yeah.
That's awesome, Mark.
Thanks. Yeah, the artist did a great job. It looks like a picture.
Yeah, he did.
That's the tattoo.
That must have hurt.
It hurt like a bitch.
I don't have any tats, but I've heard.
Yeah, that one was painful. She did it. I had it. Oh, I'm sorry. I was. That was 3 days straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
I can
literally,
imagine.
she just like worked her way up the arm, like just 3 days. It's like stopped
Oh,
here, then we did there, and then
I didn't
so.
know you were such a fan. That's
Oh
awesome.
yeah,
That's
I'm a
great.
huge Van Halen fan. Yeah,
Oh,
big
guess
time.
someday we'll talk about it in the next podcast.
Yes, anytime.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's how I met Dave. Because
Yes.
Dave,
Ready?
no, I was doing a show that was focused on Eddie. I was with another guy, and we were doing a show that was about EVH, and Dave came on as a guest. So, thank you guys. Nice tattoo. Thanks, guys.
It is. That's sweet.
Oh, and another one. Wow, that tattoo rules. Thanks, guys.
Wow, I guess you're taking over the show.
Will Marisol be signing at the booth?
Oh my goodness.
You're going to be signing autographs?
Fine.
That's a very good question.
I'll be there on.
I suppose if you happen to be there and you happen to be there when she's going to be there, maybe she'd sign something for you.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's not an official signing or anything.
What day are you going to be there, Marisol? You're going to be there
on Thursday.
Thursday. Okay.
Yeah. Early.
Yeah.
That's a good day to come.
Yeah, it's a good day to go because it's not going to be too crazy.
It might be.
I grew up around craziness. But now maybe Thursday will be a better thing, and I'll let Brian and his son Corey, handle the rest of the days with Dave.
We'll have a cocktail.
Exactly.
Who?
You and I.
Oh, then that's okay. There, we're on.
A cocktail of some sort.
Yeah, there we go.
Sure.
Oh gosh, you're bringing me back to the days again.
Do you happen to like tequila?
I do.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
There's a little private office that we have that will have some nice fine tequila.
Yeah, that's the only way to drink tequila. You drink anything else and
No, fine sipping, good, great, all natural, 100% agave tequila.
Okay, there you go.
I'm into it.
What brand?
That's crazy, Mark.
This is a weird question. Are roaches dangerous to amps?
Yes.
I don't think it's gonna hurt.
But it's gross.
But it's gross. Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's gonna hurt anything, but they are kind of frightening when they crawl out of somewhere.
Ew.
Yeah, that would be nasty.
Yeah.
They don't chew on anything?
Well, they don't really chew on anything. So they're more known as palmetto bugs out here, which they're big.
Okay.
I mean, like you could skewer them and fry them. I mean, like they're huge. I mean,
yeah, they
look like a shrimp or like a prawn or something. They're so big,
and they can fly. Some of them can fly.
Every once in a while in California, they just wander in somehow. They come wander in. Generally, that they're not the kind that are infesting. They're these huge ones, and man, you can hear them.
Oh, you're going gross, guys.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
Nasty. Yeah.
They will eat up the amp, okay? Eventually they get to it.
My problem with tequila is I don't know when to stop.
Are you going to be there?
I will not be there this year, unfortunately. I would have liked to have met you, Marisol, unfortunately. Not this year, but hopefully next year I'll be there. But this year it just didn't work out.
Oh, okay. So no hug for you.
I'm sorry. Next time.
I like this.
Virtual hug.
Virtual hug, exactly.
Axis of Evil said, Dave, I'm truly excited for this Jose head. No one drains my bank account more than you. Well, my girlfriend.
The girlfriend, yeah. That's funny.
Hey, Jerry's here from Luxtone Guitars.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Yeah, he says your tattoo rules.
Thank you, man.
Dude, you know you got to make it even. So what are you going to put on the other one?
Oh yeah, I know, right? I don't know. I don't think. I'm getting old, and this one took time to heal, and it just kind of scared me a little bit. I was like, I was going to do the other side of my arm too.
Oh, come on, just keep going.
But it just took time to heal. It just took too long to heal. I was just like, normally I would heal faster than that, but yeah, I want to do the other side, but we'll see. I got other things to worry about right now, but let's see.
Climate, politics,
job, work. Yeah, exactly.
We won't even get into that.
Well, I think we've gone through all the questions. So I want to thank you, Marisol, for coming on. It's a pleasure to meet you. You're so lovely and so sweet. And I think it's an amazing thing what Dave's doing, launching this amp and, keeping the legacy alive of your dad. I think that's a really amazing
thing. As a tribute, you know, with the family involvement, I think that's important.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you guys more than you know. It's just bringing such a heartwarming. I feel like you're my family now. And to trust you guys, this is, you know how my dad was. Don't trust anybody. Don't trust. Well, you know, Dave. Of secrets.
Yeah.
So
I got brought up on that.
So, yeah.
Well, you have to be cautious. Absolutely.
But that's not in my DNA. I'm not gonna.
Thank you.
It's not. And even the parent company, Boutique Amps Distribution, they don't fuck anyone over.
Oh, that's
no, it's a great.
Not at all. Not in the DNA. Nope.
Oh, that's so nice. Thank you guys so much for this. It's my pleasure. And I know there's a lot more detail. Maybe on the next podcast we can do a little bit more. But I think this was awesome.
Absolutely. No, it was great to have you on. I thank everybody who watched the show. Make sure you guys hit subscribe, click the bell below. Make sure you get all our notifications.
How many people we have watching?
300. 307. So
was that the highest point?
Oh, there's a thank you.
Maybe like 350. What's that?
You have a thank you. Yes. Tech Metal Rules. Thank you.
Thank you, Marisol. Yes, thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for joining us, and I hope you continue to do that. Mark and Dave and Pete Thorne are just awesome people. So hopefully we continue on.
And it was awesome to have you on. Yeah, really, really fantastic. And, get to know you and to, be part of, what your dad has done is just an amazing thing. So thank you.
Thank you. My heart to you. Thank you.
Oh, no problem. Everybody check out our social media and make sure you hit subscribe. We'll be back. I'm not sure if we're going to have a show in the next few weeks because Dave's super busy. So
I am super busy. That's for sure. I don't know.
We'll figure out if we're going to have a show.
There's some other things. There's some other ones in the works that are going to be really cool. So we have my wife Dina booking things for us now, and sometimes she just doesn't tell me what's going to happen, and then we find out. It's awesome.
What they're all about.
This is who you have today.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah, we've been working with Dave's wife Dina. Yeah. She's helping us on the social media side and also booking guests. We're growing. We actually have another person on the show who's assisting us. So
yes.
So it's not just me and Dave now. So it's
and then also always our Mario, our graphic artist extraordinaire. Yep. Mario, thank you so much as always, and we really appreciate your help.
100%. Yeah, Mario's great.
And I owe you some tequila. Yes, for your help.
Yeah, Mario. When I get
up, Mario.
we'll have to have a drink, Mario, when we get together one of these days.
Yeah.
I have to meet Mario.
What's that?
I have to meet Mario.
Oh, you will probably in NAMM.
Yeah.
Where's he from?
Mario lives in Arizona, and Mario is our graphic arts guy that does. Wow, he does everything. He does everything for us. So he does all the any sort of art layout or anything that we do for products and stuff. He does all that stuff.
Oh, I look forward to meeting him. That'll be nice.
No, he's great. Great guy. Really nice to work with. So
I guess he's ready to drink.
Last question. Which Jose mod does Joe Holmes use?
It's a variation on one of the standard Jose mods. It's not like it's exceptionally high gain, and it's not. He kind of boosts it with there's an insert loop on those old amps, and he puts a PCM 41 in the loop, and it kind of gives it a little more gain and it's kind of unique to what he uses. But the DNA is all in this amp that we're going to come out with.
Awesome. All right. Well, guys, everybody have a great weekend. Happy New Year again. Marisol, hang on while we say goodbye, and everybody take care, and we'll see you soon.
See you guys.
Bye. Happy New Year.